Hello, guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back for another stream, another video. It is the FPL team selection video, as always, on a Thursday. This is for Game Week 24. Deadline is a Saturday. Game Week 24 fast approaching. Game Week 23, double Game Week 23 is now over. What a brilliant game between Arsenal and Man City last night. Obviously, Arsenal losing 3-1. And that concludes double game week 23. So we're going to get into it all, the aftermath as well, and quickly recap on our game week 23, and also talk about our game week 24 plans and what our transfers are, and looking forward to that game week and what we're planning to do. How are you doing, Jordan? Everything good?
Yeah, everything's good. I hope everyone is good as well. Obviously, there's UCL or Europa League on at the moment, but yeah, hopefully you're enjoying the kind of football that's on the television.
Yeah, we know obviously Manchester United are playing Barcelona right now, but yeah, we will still do the stream as always. Let's pull up my team and discuss how my game week 23 went, because starting off, it was a brilliant week for me. All things considered, it couldn't really have gone much better. So yeah, let's start with and I've spoke about on the knee-jerk live reaction pretty much, Ward. I spoke about Trippier, Ben White, Luke Shaw. I think I got to speak on Ben White because he was benched in that second game against Man City, which was not as a surprise, really. I think a lot of Arsenal fans did say Ben White could be benched for one of those games, and he did. He was benched against City. Tomiyasu played, and yeah, only got the 1 pointer. So all in all, Ben White ends up with 3 points. I'm just going to touch on again the Man City and Arsenal players because they are the ones that double, and this is where there was a massive gain for me this week. As you guys can see, I own Mahrez, who scored in the first match against, I forgot who it was against now. Villa. Mahrez did score against Aston Villa and he got an assist, we know. And then against Arsenal, he did blank. He came off after 60 minutes for 2 points. So, that was a bit annoying. But all in all, 14 pointer for Mahrez after the double game week. And yeah, can't really complain. He was my transfer in for Bruno, paid off so far. Yeah, with a 14 pointer, can't complain. Let's move on to another player, and that is Kevin De Bruyne. Everyone knows I've been holding on to Kevin De Bruyne for a while, being patient, not getting rid of him when a lot of people were tempted to sell Kevin De Bruyne. But I knew before a double game week, selling a player like Kevin De Bruyne was never going to be in my plans. My plan was always to keep him for this double game week that just went, and it massively paid off. I know he got the goal, but if you watch that game, he was by far the best player on the pitch. In my opinion, I thought he was brilliant, back to his absolute best. Goal, brilliant goal with the left foot. Bit of a mistake from the Arsenal defense, but he puts it over the goalkeeper. And yeah, nice goal there. Also gets the assist for the Haaland goal, and he also gets 3 bonus points as well for the man of the match display. So yeah, 15 pointer from KDB all round. It's gone exactly how I wanted it to, really. In that sense, there was slight doubts with KDB, but I'm glad that my faith in him has been paid off. And yeah, 15 point, I can't complain. Moving on to the Arsenal player Saka, who also matched KDB for a 15 pointer. Saka did get an assist against Brentford in that game week 1. Sorry, not game week 1, in the first fixture of this game week. And he also got an assist. No, sorry, he got an assist against Brentford, wasn't it? It wasn't the goal. Yes. He got the assist, and then he got a bonus point. So he got 6 points against Brentford. And then yesterday against Man City, he did score as well, a penalty. So, he's another 9 pointer from him yesterday. So that takes him up to 15 points, as you can see. So, yeah, it was another brilliant, pick, Saka, for this double game week. He also got the 2 bonus points last night, I believe. So yeah, it's another big positive about my team. I couldn't be more happy having Kevin De Bruyne and Saka and Mahrez. Those 3 midfielders, I think if you had them this game week, you would be quite high up on the scores this week. Because those 3 were the standout players, and I had all 3. So just kind of luck kind of went my way this week. Yeah, and then moving on to Martinelli, who did start again in that Man City fixture. He did come off as well, I believe, after 75 minutes. He did blank yet again, Martinelli, frustratingly. Maybe he's one that we look to take out soon, but another blank. 5 points from him for the double. So not as good as Saka in that sense. I'm not going to touch on Rashford too much. I did mention Rashford already. He did score in that single game week he had. Let's move on to Haaland finally, who did obviously score last night against Arsenal. He scored 1 goal for the 4 points for that. He is my captain, so doubles the points, so 20. So those who did triple captain Haaland kind of did pay off in the end, sort of. It wasn't too bad of a score. But yeah, nothing really to discuss. Haaland gets his goal after, I think, 3 games without a goal for Haaland. So not really a goal drought or anything, but nice to see Haaland back on the score sheet. But overall, double game week 23 has been pretty good. 99 points for me this game week. 1 point away from 100. I was annoyed that I couldn't hit the 100-point club. Let us know how you guys did in the comments as well. So yeah, I am now up from, I think my rank was 1.1 million at the start of game week 23. Now it is 798k. So for those that do keep up regularly, I think my rank was 1.6 million in game week 22 or 21. So I've more than halved my rank in recent weeks. I think thanks to Rashford and the triple captain, and then again thanks to like Mahrez, De Bruyne, and Saka. So yeah, it's been 2 really good game weeks for me so far after what felt like red arrow on red arrow for weeks. So hopefully this is just a turning point of the season and I can carry on. Hopefully break into that top 500k now. I'm still about 20 points off the top 500k, so still a lot of work needed, but I'm happy with this week and the last 2 weeks how it's gone. 99 points, can't complain much. And yeah, that is the team. And yeah, we'll bring up your team, Jordan, for double game week 23. Talk us through how it went, your thoughts, and mainly touch up on obviously the doublers because we've mentioned a lot of it anyway on the knee jerk.
Yes, for those who didn't watch the knee jerk, go take a look and you'll see our analysis of the single game week players that we did speak about in that game. But obviously, I'll touch on the double game week players. So we'll start off with the Arsenal double game players. So Ben White, as we all know, he was benched in the second fixture, which I do believe some of you did say in the deadline stream that he may be benched for that second one for Arsenal as because of fitness and rest. But he did come on and did get 1 point. It wouldn't have mattered anyway, though, because Arsenal did concede by 3 goals. So it wouldn't have mattered much for Ben White getting the clean sheet because it was wiped. If he did start, he might have got 4 points for the 2 for playing, but he only comes out with 3 points, which is a bit disappointing for Arsenal, not keeping clean sheets. And their 3rd loss in a row. They seem to have dropped off a bit, Arsenal. And we do wonder whether if it's worth having an Arsenal defender now. But we'll have to see with the double coming around the corner. Moving on to Martinelli. He did get 5 points. Another Arsenal player which is lacking returns consistently now through each game week now. It feels like Martinelli hasn't had a return in quite a while. So long, I can't even remember when the last return was. But he is, after that double, a really massive question mark over him now. He's had a lot of transfer outs already after that double, that last fixture in the double that Arsenal had against Man City. And yeah, his minutes are balanced between Trossard now. That's obviously clear, and he's not really getting not as much involvement as he did before the World Cup. So he is a player to consider what we do with him, especially with the double game week coming up for Arsenal. Moving on to obviously, Ederson, the goalkeeper. He obviously didn't get any clean sheet for their Man City double. A bit disappointing. Same pretty much for Ben White. Same scenario for Man City. They can't really keep clean sheets, Man City, and it's a bit of a worry if it's worth having a goalkeeper or a defender for Man City, because they're barely getting it. They're conceding most games against any team, and it's just there's not really much, I'll say, upside having a defender or goalkeeper, as they're not really getting any clean sheets or attacking returns. But we'll have to see what we do with Ederson, and obviously any defender that other people do have for Man City, whether we keep them or not. And finally, move on to the last Man City asset, which was a double, and that was obviously Haaland, who did get a 20-pointer if you did captain him. I think it did pay off, obviously, for the triple captains, as he would have got 60 points, similar to Rashford's 60 that he got.
No, he would have got 30 because he got 10
sorry.
points.
Sorry, 30 points. So it kind of sort of paid off for you if you did triple captain him, as it was a doubt, Haaland, coming up to that Arsenal game, because he was injured in the first game week fixture that Man City had. So yeah, I guess it could have been much worse for those who did triple captain Haaland, but he does go away with 20 points. And yeah, that's pretty much my analysis of my team in the starting 11. Obviously, after the second double game week fixtures, it has turned my green arrow into a red arrow, as a lot of the outstanding performing players I do not own, such as Saka, De Bruyne, and Mahrez, who are all dangers around my rank. So it is turned into a red arrow. Not a massive one, it's a slight red arrow. I was on 383k, I believe, but I've sort of dropped down to about 100k in rank. So I'm now at 473,000k, but it's not too bad of a massive red arrow. I mean, there was a lot of blanks overall in the team, and a lot of performers that didn't really do well, apart from certain individuals. But I did get 74 points, which is not too bad for considering how the game week went, and a total of 1,419. So that is how my game week 23 team has gone.
Okay, that's our game week 23 stuff out the way. Obviously, double game week 23. Let us know how you guys did as well in the game week 23. But we are going to move on now to game week 24. Another game week to go. It's coming very quickly now, these game weeks. So yeah, let's move on to game week 24. And I'll bring my team up, my bus team, how I'm lining up. So as you guys can see from my team, I'm going to quickly read off the players. Obviously, everyone knows I've got Ward in goal, who's got United away, which I think is a tough game. I don't see any clean sheet for Leicester in that game, so he's probably going to blank again. I've got a back three of Ben White, Trippier, and Luke Shaw. I think Ben White has a decent fixture. I don't know if Arsenal will keep a clean sheet. I do think Villa have the potential to score, so we'll see in that sense. Trippier has Liverpool. We know Newcastle have been strong at home. Liverpool looked much improved against Everton, but we know Newcastle are going to be a tougher test at home. So, we don't know whether Liverpool can do it against Newcastle, really. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. I'm looking forward to that game. I think it could be a good one. Luke Shaw, Leicester at home. I can see him potentially getting an attacking return, maybe. So in that sense, I think he's a good one to have still. I don't see a clean sheet for Man United either. I think Leicester will score. Man United will probably win that one, but I do think Leicester will score in that game. So yeah, I expected no clean sheet for Luke Shaw in that one. Moving on to the midfield five, I've got the double Arsenal players, Martinelli and Saka, who have Villa away. I think Villa away could be a nice fixture for them. You could expect some goals. So having the likes of Saka, I'm happy with holding him against Villa. I think he could have potential to get me some points. We know he's on penalties now as well. So if they can get a penalty, then we know Saka will take. Martinelli is a frustrated figure right now. A lot of managers are transferring him out, but I think I'm going to hold him for at least another week and see what he does potentially. But yeah, I think I'm going to hold Martinelli for this week, guys. Even though a lot of managers are taking him out. Moving on to De Bruyne, who has Nottingham Forest away. I think this is a nice fixture. This might be De Bruyne's last week in my team. I may take him out for game week 25. Not 100%, but likelihood is I will transfer De Bruyne out in game week 25. So this is probably his last week in my team. It's paid off having him so far, but hopefully he can give me another big score when he's got Forest away. But that's going to be slightly tougher than people think. I think. So maybe it won't be as easy as a lot of people suspect, but hopefully he can get something in that game. Moving on to Manchester United duo, Fernandes and Rashford. We know Manchester United are playing right now. They are actually winning 2-1 against Barcelona. Rashford has scored and he was involved in the second goal as well. So we know Rashford is on form. You can see him get a few goals against Leicester potentially. Could even be captain worthy, dare I say, if you are feeling being a bit risky. So yeah, Rashford stays in my team, of course. Fernandes is going to stay as well, I think. And I'll probably take Fernandes out next week when Man United actually blank. So we have to keep in mind, guys, Manchester United do play in the Carabao Cup final against Newcastle. So Newcastle and Man United both blank in 25, I believe. So you will have to navigate that. So Fernandes will be going out of my team, I think, next week. It's just how I navigate it. We will have videos out on, our chip strategy and all that stuff. So make sure you do tune in, guys, and you are subscribed so you don't miss out any on the content. So yeah, I think the midfield stays pretty much as it is on the screen. Finally, up front, I've got Haaland, who's got Forest away. He's currently my captain, but I do think Rashford could be a good captain pick this week. But Haaland back scoring against Arsenal, it could be a bit scary to go against him against Forest. And finally, we've got Mitrovic, who I believe is now flagged on FPL. I didn't actually know he had an injury until earlier, but that does potentially change my transfer plans quite considerably. Now, I'm just looking at the news. It says a 75% chance of playing for Mitrovic. So I don't know how serious his injury is. I'm hoping that, he plays against that Brighton fixture away. If I hear news that he won't play, I will be taking him out. Right now, I don't know for who, if I'm being 100% honest. I like Nketiah, as I mentioned before. But the problem with that is, I already have 3 Arsenal players. So to get Nketiah in, I would have to take a -4, which probably ain't worth it. I still could do it because, he does have a double in 25, so it could still pay off whether I want to switch Martinelli out for Nketiah and have a better triple up. So I will come on to my transfer plans. So I got 1 free transfer. I've got 3.2 million as well in the bank. So there's a lot of moves I can make. So originally, my current plan is actually quite boring, and that is to roll the transfer. But now Mitrovic is injured, I may be tempted to do something there. But for now, if Mitrovic is fit, guys, my team is staying the same. I'm just going to roll the transfer and have 2 free transfers for that double game week 25. The blank game week 25 as well next week. So, yeah, that is a plan to roll the move and hope Mitrovic is fit. If Mitrovic isn't fit, which is still a bit unclear. I don't know if you know, Jordan, in regards to Mitrovic. Is it serious for the weekend?
I'm not sure about Mitrovic, but I didn't realize he was flagged until I was going through this slide. So I think this was a flag and a late flag because I don't think it initially went up after they finished their fixture for them.
Yeah, so he's got a knock apparently. So we'll have to see. If before the deadline on Saturday, he will be coming out my team if he's injured. We'll hopefully get some early team news or something like that. If not, he's gonna stay, and I'm gonna roll and have 2 free transfers for the blank game week 25, which will allow me to take out players like Bruno, etc. For the blank. But yeah, that's my plan, guys. I'm gonna roll and hopefully have 2 transfers next week. Yeah, let me know what you guys think as well of the team, and also let me know your transfer plans for game week 24. Anyway, Jordan, let's move on to your team. Talk us through quickly how you're lining up, and obviously your transfer plans, because you do have 2 free transfers, so you have to make a move.
Yes, I think I'm in a good position to have 2 free transfers due to the, as you see, the flag of my team. We'll start off with Edison. Speak about him first. He has got Nottingham Forest away. Now I'm half expecting a clean sheet from Man City, and I think this is a fixture where they actually do get one. If not, I do not know where they could get one, as Nottingham Forest haven't been that great. They have improved this season, don't get me wrong. They could potentially score against Man City, who do look a bit more vulnerable at the back than what we've seen in the past for Man City. But it is an away fixture as well for Man City, because it will be tough. It won't be easy, as I imagine a lot of people will say that's a pretty easy fixture. There won't be no problems for Man City. But this is a really odd season in itself. So Nottingham Forest at home could be potentially a good game for them, and massive challenge for Man City, especially for Ederson if he can keep a clean sheet. So moving on to the back three, we obviously got the standard back three of Ben White, who's got Aston Villa away. Now Aston Villa under the new management of Emery, which has improved a lot since his arrival to the club. He has sort of turned it around where they are winning more games, they're scoring lots more goals underneath him. I don't have faith that Ben White will keep a clean sheet, if I'm honest, in that Aston Villa, especially with it being an away fixture as well. And after coming off a 3 in a row losses, or at least a draw, isn't the greatest outcome for them either. So I could potentially bench Ben White for this game week 24 and potentially play either Dunk or me instead of Ben White. But yeah, I think we have to see come closer to the time what I do with Ben White, whether he's on the bench or not. Moving on to the next defender, that is Trippier, who's got Liverpool at home. I also agree. I don't really see a clean sheet coming from Newcastle. It's another team which is dropped off as well, because they have back-to-back blanks in terms of clean sheets. They have conceded twice now. And I think the only thing that I can see for Trippier is an attack and return rather than a clean sheet in that Liverpool game. But we did see Liverpool do much more better against Everton. They did win 2-0 in that game, which it feels like they haven't won a game structurally in a while, as well as keep a clean sheet. So this could potentially be a challenge for, I'll say, both teams against each other for a clean sheet and also for a win as well. So it will be an interesting fixture, what happens in that game. Moving on to the last defender, that is Luke Shaw, who has Leicester at home. Luke Shaw does come off of a 12-pointer from obviously game week 23 for getting a nice assist and a clean sheet and a bonus on top of that. Yeah, I'm still happy with Luke Shaw, to be fair, in his performances. I mean, if he doesn't get a clean sheet against Leicester at home, there's always that attacking potential that we have seen from him as well. And I think with a home fixture, I think that's a good game for Luke Shaw. I would actually mind if Man United concede. I mean, I would like Fulham to keep a clean sheet, as we all know. Luke Shaw does get the bonus points if it is a nice clean sheet for Man United, and yeah, hopefully in that game they can hold strong. Moving on to the midfield, so we've got Martinelli, who has Aston Villa away. He is definitely in my transfer plans. Obviously, there is the blank coming up, and the double coming up for Arsenal, but I think Martinelli is not going to be part of that. I've not been quite happy with his performances, as well as his minutes being managed now with Trossard. He's not a full 90-minute player, and he hasn't had a return in about 6 game weeks now, and it's a bit worried now that if keeping Martinelli is worth it anymore, as he has been transferred out a lot, and his price value is going down as well. So he is potentially in my transfer plans later on. Moving on to Matoma, he has got Fulham at home. This is a nice fixture, I think, for Brighton, especially if Mitrovic isn't involved in that game, as he is currently flagged. We do know Matoma does play better when he's at home for Brighton, so hopefully he can get something in his home fixture, as he did blank last week, even though Brighton did win. So hopefully he can bounce back in his fixture, as he has the quality to do that for a player. He is like a rising gem that no one's really looked for, but he is getting the points previously from his fixtures. And now this is probably the most talked about talking point. This is Almiron, who did get injured in the last game Newcastle did play. This was a wrist injury where he fell on his wrist awkwardly, and he had to go off in the second half of the match. So he is obviously flagged. He is 75 chance of playing, but nonetheless, I was thinking about taking out Almiron despite the injury, but because he is injured, it just makes the decision more easier, as I don't know if he's going to play in that Liverpool at home fixture. I haven't really heard about what Eddie Howe has mentioned about him. I think we have to wait and see if you are considering holding Almiron. But for me, he is also in my transfer plans to get rid of, as Newcastle do blank as well in 25. So I think a lot of people will be transferring Almiron out nonetheless. Moving on to the Man United duo, we've got Fernandes, who has Leicester at home, and also Rashford. I think that's a great fixture for both players. I honestly still think the triple Man United will return really well in that fixture at home. And obviously, you do see the captaincy over Rashford currently, and it's not over Haaland. I was debating whether to captain Rashford or not for this game week 24, as the form of Rashford looks far more greater at the moment than it does with Haaland. Even though Haaland did score yesterday, I feel like Rashford is firing on all cylinders currently. I mean, he has scored in this evening's match against Barcelona as well, so he is doing really well and is on form. And I think for that Leicester at home one, he could definitely score a couple goals past them. And yeah, he's currently my captain, so we have to wait and see what he can do, and if I choose to captain him near the time. Moving on to the front two, we've got Nketiah, who was Aston Villa away. He did get an assist last game week for Saka's. He did get an assist for the foul committed on him in the box, which led to an Arsenal penalty. So he didn't entirely blank in the double, as most would assume he did, because I thought he was going to blank until I saw his points were 6. He did get an assist, and then followed by Saka's penalty take, which did get him the points. I'm hoping that you can get something in the Aston Villa away fixture, because again, Nketiah is another player which he's not highly owned asset in FPL, and if he returns well, he's a massive rank gainer. So hopefully, if Odegaard and Saka don't return, and Nketiah does, that's kind of upside for me, as I don't own either Saka or Odegaard. So hopefully, Nketiah can turn it around for me in this game week. And finally, we got Haaland, who has Nottingham Forest away, and is obviously the vice captain pick. I think this is going to be a tough fixture. I don't know why, but I just think it's one of those fixtures that we all think it's going to be really easy, and Man City will score lots of goals in the fixture. I, however, don't think that at all. I think this is going to be really tough for Man City, especially away, to score a lot of goals past Nottingham Forest, as they have surprised a few teams in the top 5 in terms of results. So that is why I've vice captained Haaland for now, and see come the other time whether I stick with that or not. But currently, Haaland is a vice captain for me, and yeah, he has not a Forest away fixture. So that's my starting 11 for game week 24. I'll just briefly talk about my bench. So we've got Meslier, who's got Everton away. Could be a good fixture for Leeds, maybe a clean sheet there, but not really sure they can keep one, but we have to see. We've got Tony, who's got Crystal Palace at home. I'm a bit wary of having Tony on the bench after coming off a 9-pointer from last game week as well. So a bit of a headache there. I could potentially manage that by taking out Almiron out of the team and playing Tony, but because of the transfer plans, he's currently on the bench. Then we got Dunk, who's got Fulham at home. I could potentially play Dunk over Ben White. I'm deciding whether to do that or not, as it is a home fixture, and Brighton look more better in terms of a clean sheet result for the fixtures that Arsenal and Brighton do have. And finally, we've got Ben Mee, who has Crystal Palace at home. Yeah, again, I've mentioned this before. He could potentially be a replacement on the starting 11 for Ben White. It is going to be a decision that I'll probably have to make on that, as they both have home fixtures, which look pretty good. But yeah, that is my team bench, though. I'll move on now to my transfer plans. So I do have 2 free transfers, as you can see, and I have a lot of money in the bank, 6.5 million. So I have a lot of money to play around with, and obviously I need to make a transfer. So obviously Amaron is going to be one of the transfers, and Martinelli as well. So I am making 2 transfers potentially leading up to game week 24. Obviously, because Martinelli is off form and has blanked game weeks onwards, and Almon's obviously flagged for injury as well, but he also does blank in 25. And I feel like the 10 points that we all got from him in the last fixture was the final end to Almiron. And yeah, I'll show you who I'm bringing in for these 2 free transfers. So the first player I've considered bringing in is Saka. And the reason for this is because other than Martinelli, who is off form, I don't have an Arsenal midfielder that is returning me points. So I've considered bringing Saka, who's had more upside to Martinelli in the past few game weeks, getting more fortune in terms of returns, and obviously better on form, as it seems to have switched to mostly Saka now, who is highly owned, and is it does hurt the rank whenever he gets a return, whether it being an assist or a goal, as well as bonus points as well that he receives. So I have considered bringing him in my first free transfer. And my second transfer, I am debating whether I'm going to do this one or not, because I'm not entirely sure, but I had to come up with an idea just for this video. But it is Mahrez, who's got Nottingham Forest away. And yeah, I'm not too sure about this transfer, if I'm going to make it or not. I'm still thinking about who I could replace Almiron for. I would have liked to do it for Kevin De Bruyne, but I don't have the money to move up to his price value, which is a bit annoying. So Mahrez is a maybe for that second transfer, but I do want to make 2 free transfers, as I do plan to free hit in blank game week 25. So I really want to use both transfers, so I don't sort of burn one when I use my free hit. So Mahrez is my second free transfer. It does leave me with 2.5 million in the bank. So there's still a bit more to use in my team if necessary. But yeah, that is my transfer plans going forward into game week 24.
Okay, nice. Because you're basically gonna free hit next week. Looks like.
Yeah, I'm potentially free hit next week.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, similar midfield to mine now. So Mara, Saka, big returners in game week 23. I think they are. I think Saka is a good move with the double he has coming up as well. Odegaard is another one. I think is a good move. I'm looking to probably somehow get him into my team soon, but it's hard to do with the midfield options. But yeah, so yeah, 2 transfers used for you. Let's bring up some points. Bring up some comments. Manish says Rashford on fire. Yeah, Rashford has scored again tonight. Dom, 75 points for me. Red arrow to 300k, but we move. Got 72 points with -4. Bench Shaw, played Botman, and it backfired. Yeah, a lot of people did bench Luke Shaw for Newcastle, and obviously Newcastle, it didn't pay off this week. Would you play Kilman over Trippier or Gabriel? Kilman has Bournemouth. No, I'll still play Trippier, and even Gabriel. I think I'll play Trippier and Gabriel. Colm says Mitrovic to Felix. I think in response to my team, obviously. Yeah, maybe could do. I think I will want some Chelsea players soon-ish. Don't know what exactly. Maybe not this week, but if I look at Chelsea's fixtures, let me just bring up. So Chelsea's fixtures do look quite good around game week 26 when they got Leeds, Leicester, Everton, Villa. But I've got to just see how Chelsea do in the next game or two and what players I'd be looking to bring in. But I will definitely be bringing in at least one Chelsea player coming up. Hi lads, what are your thoughts on Ben White not starting? Yeah, we've mentioned this one. I think Tomiyasu is preferred against the so-called like bigger teams. I know Tomiyasu played against Man City now. He played against Liverpool. So it seems like when Arsenal play one of the bigger teams, like a Liverpool, maybe even if they want to come against a Chelsea, I think even Man United, I think Tomiyasu started. I'm not sure. Let me know, guys. But I know he started against Liverpool, I'm pretty sure. And again, it seems like he's preferred in the bigger games for a bit of defensive cover. So, yeah, I think Ben White will be back into the team for Villa. But, yeah, it's just one of those, I think, especially in a double game week. Double game week 25, you may not want Ben White because he might not play in both. So you may want, someone like Gabriel, who I have mentioned as the best Arsenal defender, definitely in my opinion. Gabriel, and then one of Saka, Odegaard, even Nketiah. You could go triple attack, and I think that could also be decent if you don't want an Arsenal defender. Colm just saying Mitrovic has been playing with an ankle injury, and that he's been getting pain-killing injections before every game. I'm not sure. I know he's had a few niggles this season, so hopefully he is fine for that Brighton game. But if not, he'll have to come out my team. And then another comment: best under 5 million defenders. A good question. Who's the best cheap defender right now? If you're looking to bring in for the next couple of games, I think Tarkowski could be decent for Everton. So Tarkowski plays. He actually has a fixture in game week 25 against Villa, so that's why I do like him as a move for that blank. If you aren't free hitting, I think Tarkowski could be good. He's only 4.2 million. Another one before his injury was Tyrone Mings, 4.3 million. But Tyrone Mings, it seems like, to be honest, Tyrone Mings is still a good pick, I think, because he will be back for game week 24, according to Emery, that it was just a minor 1 week injury. So Tyrone Mings, Tarkowski, anyone really in that sense. Everton, even Villa. If you aren't free hitting in game week 25, you want players that actually have a fixture. So, Tarkowski and Mings are two that I like the look of just to navigate the blanks. And they are very cheap, to be honest. So, yeah, I'd recommend those two. Also, yeah, that is it pretty much from us for game week 24 plans. We're going to be back again. I think, it wasn't now Thursday today. Almost forgot the day. We're going to be back on Saturday morning, 10 a.m. UK time. So make sure you do join us, guys. It's going to be a deadline stream. Jordan's going to make a couple of transfers. I'm going to probably roll unless Mitrovic is injured. I'm going to roll. But we'll see. It's been a good stream though. And yeah, trying to say a massive thank you. Obviously, Dan's joined the chat now. Coanda's joined the chat. Yeah, guys, thank you guys for all watching. It's been a good stream. Thank you for your comments as well. But yeah, we are going to wrap it up now. It's just been a quick team selection video. And yeah, as I mentioned, guys, we're back on Saturday for the deadline as always. So make sure you do tune in. But other than that, trying to say thank you, everyone. And I hope to see you guys on Saturday. Anything else you'd like to add, Jordan?
Yes, thank you guys for watching for the stream. It's appreciated. Enjoyed the rest of the football. Obviously, Man United is still playing Barcelona. So I think it sounds like an exciting fixture going on currently.
I think it's finished now. I'm not sure, but it's 2-2. No, it's still going on, I think. But yeah, it's 2-2. Okay.
So yeah, good. It's a good game. Obviously, we'll see you in the deadline stream Saturday morning. So set your notifications and follow us so you get in touch when we do go live. And take care, and we'll see you at the weekend.
See you guys. Peace out.